Okay, let me share my screen. Great. So we'll carry on from where we were yesterday with more select statements. So yesterday was more of an introduction on the data relational database side, and to allow us to get a foundation of what it is we are querying. And then we progressed, spoke about types of databases, focused, went deep into relational databases. We went ahead and saw ERDs, or entity relation diagrams, then moved ahead and saw what schemas look like. So all that allowed us to understand entities being these real world objects that we'll be representing in tables. And then we got to see the attributes of these tables, then we got to see the relationships. And in the schema in particular, we were able to see how a schema represents the relationships between different entities or different tables. And then following that, we went straight into MySQL Workbench, and we were able to create a table, insert some data, alter that table. So just to acquaint ourselves with the MySQL Workbench environment, but also with those fundamental, just very simple creation queries, and fundamental to mostly we'll use this towards the end of next week, but again, just to usher us into SQL and to get used to the syntax. So we are carrying on now from today all the way to Saturday, and Saturday will be presentations, but we'll have some time before that. The idea now will be, first we understand queries properly, and then next week we get into creation of a relational database from scratch. So what we'll do, first things first, is acquaint ourselves with, we already ran these, we downloaded this file. So we'll start, let's go to MySQL Workbench. Open your MySQL Workbench. Once you do, I want you to find this file that we downloaded. So allow me to just demonstrate. Great. So just come here to File, and then Open SQL Script. Once you click on Open SQL Script, I want you to find that file that we downloaded. And the file that I'm referencing in this case is this MySQL sample database. So after downloading it, it might be a zipped file. In my case, it showed up as a zipped file. Let's just confirm. Here it is. So unzip it. The file that we want is this MySQL sample database.sql. This is what we want. So we want to come from here, File, to Open SQL Script, and then find that MySQL, that database, not data set, that SQL file. And then once it's here, you let me know. So open it as a file. Open that SQL file here. Just give me a thumbs up once you're able to do that, or if you're stuck as well, just let me know. So that's step one before we proceed. That's because we'll be referencing that database throughout. So we'll go through its schema, understand what it is storing, understand the relationships, and then now get into our querying as we learn the various concepts or the various ways to write SQL queries depending on our applications. Be sure to give me a thumbs up once you have that file like so in your MySQL Workbench or whatever environment you're working with. Since Samora is there. Ricardo, are you having a challenge? All right, fantastic. So once it's there, the goal is to run it. So it will create the classic models data sets, create the tables, and then populate the data. So what you can do is you can put your cursor at the very beginning and use this, execute the statement under the keyboard cursor, so that we'll execute everything all the way from scratch. Or alternatively, you can just select all and then click on the run. So select all, click on this lightning to execute that selected portion, which ideally is the entirety of the SQL code within this file that we are working in. And that should create the classic models table. So you'll see, and in my case, I already ran this before. So classic models is here, but the idea is you should be able to see it, see the database in your schemas. So once that runs and you're getting your confirmations here of successful creation of the database, of the tables and the insertion, just come refresh your schema here. You should be able to see the classic models database, and under the tables, you should be able to see these tables. Let me know how that goes. Again, a thumbs up once you're able to see these classic models here. Very easy way to know is once you see, you just see it in the schemas and you can inspect the contents of the tables. You can even inspect the tables themselves and see the columns that we have right there. So that is a confirmation that now you have created the database and inserted all the tables and the data in that database. Hoping you're not getting any errors. Just let me know once that runs successfully.
I'm getting an error.
What is it saying?
Line 35.
Line 35. Let's see. What is your line 35? Mine is it's part of this create table. Which line is it?
Create table products and then product line voucher.
This line is what is causing an error.
I don't know. I feel like it's okay. I don't know.
Are you able to see your schema somewhere to see the database that you're working on within the environment?
So I think I'll have to use MySQL. My AD is hanging a lot.
Had you installed the MySQL?
Yeah.
Okay, just try to open it. Had you set it up?
Do you know how to open it in Mac?
Same way, there's no difference. It's just going to request you for a password. Make sure you remember that password.
Okay.
Let's see here. I can just open the reference pointer. MySQL installation Mac, and I'm hoping you installed the version for Mac. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. After it, what there's just a step, and feel free to share your screen so that I can talk you through. When you're installing the bits, you should also make sure you select MySQL Workbench alongside the server.
MySQL Workbench, you use it online or you have to download it as well?
It's part of once you just download MySQL, it's going to be one of those things that you install, not separately. It's going to be part of that installation process. Feel free to share your screen. We can do it very quickly.
I've already installed MySQL, so
let's see that downloaded file. Or is that file that you downloaded?
season.
Okay, run that. Just double click on it. because in that, double click on that, allow. Okay, continue. Agree, continue. It's just a small section where you're selecting everything you installed. That's that. Close. That's very interesting. Huh? Let's just try search for MySQL Workbench. Let's see whether it installed it alongside the server. MySQL Workbench. There's a small step that you missed when installing the server. This is where you just select both the server and the Workbench in one go. It's from where you're running it. I'm even getting where did you download this from? MySQL community downloads.
Yeah, community. Yeah.
Okay, just a moment. Just try install MySQL Workbench separately. Then just go back in that where you are. Just go back. No. Just back on your browser. What you were searching, not here.
Okay.
Yeah, just to the previous page. Previous page. Before your results. Before you landed here on my here.
Yeah.
Or just you can also open a new tab. Just search MySQL Workbench download. All right. No thanks. Just start my download. There is normally when you're installing, when you just download it from here, it gives you the option of what quote unquote add-ons you want to install alongside the server.
It's downloading.
Okay. I can see it down there. It's fine. It's going to be important that you code along, otherwise add-on will just get lost in translation.
This was what I was using, but
okay, let's see.
But it has let me force quit.
Okay. Actually, the run button is to the far left here. But then I think it's starting to run your code where your query is at, where your cursor is at. Just take your cursor at the very top.
Okay, that makes more sense. Take my cursor to bottom.
To the very beginning, very beginning. Or just Control A. Just select everything. Control A. And then hit the play.
Okay, it's working.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. That looks good. Now, can create a new since we are using it. Create a new file, a new SQL file. Just see to the left there is a plus. See the left of your the Database Explorer. Yeah. I reckon that is where I have.
It's loading. I can't click it. Yeah, that's the problem with this one.
Could it be running that file? Right.
I think it's the. I don't know if it's the file.
Nice. Okay, just drag that to applications. make sure we connect it to the server, and then we should be good to go. Okay. Local instance, scroll to the bottom. Local instance, click on that. Yeah. Do you remember the password that you created?
Yeah.
Fantastic. This is usually the most anyway, I just continue. This is where it forces a lot of fantastic. So just enlarge your screen, fill it. Just enlarge this window. Fantastic. Let's go to file. So the file icon. You want to open a script. Top left, not there. Okay, that seems to also do the trick, though that is saving. Top left, see above administration, yeah, there. Click on that. No, just below home, there, yes. It's just creating another one. Okay, just hover around those icons that you have. Yes, that one, the second one, open a SQL script, the second, yes, that. Go to your downloads, find that, yes, that, open. Control A, and then let's run that. Should be okay. Just click on your schemas, click on schemas. Yeah, click on schemas. You see where the tab that you're on administration tab to the left, the navigation bar, schemas. Click on tables. Click on should be good. Let's go to the new, create a new query, a new SQL file. Just a new one. So the first here there. Say use classic models, although it's already been said, but or select all from customers. Just try select asterisk from customers. Asterisk the sign, yeah. The star sign. Yeah, with a space, just a space after select, just for readability. From customers. Customers in small. We are referencing these tables here. Okay, semicolon. You have not selected that. Yeah, run it. Let's see. Looking good. It's fine.
Okay.
So to cancel this, just come here. You see where you have customers one, just above your action output. You can be how to close these output here. If you hover over customers one, there is an X. Click on that X. That closes the output section. So we're good to go. Good to go. Fantastic. Ricardo, hope you're still there. All good in the end?
Nope.
What's the challenge?
Okay.
What's the challenge?
I've run. Okay, I was just facing a problem when trying to run it. It was saying admin, I don't know something. So I had to copy and paste to another SQL. When I'm trying to run, when I press the tables when running in the schemas, it's not. There is nothing.
I can't hear a thing you're saying. I lost you for a bit. You could share a screen. Could you share a screen? Just share a screen. Let's debug. If it's not yet sorted.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. This one. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Damn.
Yeah, I can see. Victor, you've muted.
Oh.
Okay. So where's the first file that you ran? Because I can see classic model seems. Just go to the left, see where you have sample DB. I want you to just, but it's there. Click on tables. I can see classic models is sort of there. Click on tables.
Like
Under classic models.
it's the one that,
Okay,
that I'm
I
trying
lost
to
your screen
click.
again for a bit, Ricardo. I lost your
Okay,
screen.
let me try to share. Damn man.
Okay.
Oh. Let me share.
Because I can see you also trying to speak, but I cannot hear what you're saying. Just some network issues. Okay, your screen is being shared now. Screen is being shared.
Yeah.
Screen is being shared. Just wait a minute. It should be good.
Can you
All
see?
right. Yeah, I can now see your screen. Let's go to the workbench.
Okay.
Okay. Click on tables under MySQL. Okay, refresh. Go to your schemas. Just refresh. Refresh your schemas. Ricardo,
It's
you can hear
empty.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. It's the one that I've already refreshed.
Okay, I can see that your mic is on because I can see this, but I cannot hear you.
Damn man. Can you hear
now
me?
I was able to hear you, but your voice is breaking.
And now?
I can hear clearly.
I think it's
Samora,
network
can
on
you hear
your
me?
side.
Or is it an issue?
Yeah,
on
I
my
can
end?
hear. I think it's an issue on your end.
Okay, I also cannot hear you, Samora, so that's alarming. Let me just refresh the meeting link.
Okay.
Okay. Ricardo, can you now hear me? Is it any better?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Yes, now I can hear you as well. That's good, that's good. So saying, first I'm seeing there are two unconnected sessions. You see where you have local instance MySQL 80, and then you have unconnected
It's
and
the one which
connected.
I'm in.
Okay, fantastic. Let's go to the schemas. Click on the refresh button to the left of schemas. Okay, close sample
Yeah.
DB. Just close sample DB. See to the left, still in the navigator section. Navigator here, where we are at the navigator in the schemas. You see where you have an arrow next to here under the schemas, you have the sample DB. In the schemas, where we have classic models, tables, views here. I want you, so I can see the classic model still has nothing. So let's do this. Just close MySQL Workbench first. Just close it entirely, and then let's reopen it. Okay. That looks good. So let's go to SQL script to the just below file. Just you can confirm the server status. Though I think it's okay. Click on server status under management. In the navigator. Okay, that's also another way to go about it, but still fine. Okay, the server is running. That's good. So now let's go to the below file, that plus SQL. We want to open the SQL script that we downloaded. Yes, that one. So open SQL script as you had done before, of course. Find that SQL file. It was not that. It's not day one. We do not want. It's the MySQL sample database, the day one.
Okay.
Do you remember what we downloaded yesterday from the link I shared? I can reshare the link.
Yeah, it's the one I'm checking because I changed the name. So
Yeah.
let me.
Okay.
Let me
Okay,
see
I see what you mean.
says. Okay. Check on that.
Okay.
Let me check on the downloads. Okay.
Maybe you just download it again.
Can you send it in the chat?
I can just send it to you. I can send a link to you to where it is.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Let me just share the link. Don't stop sharing so that I can guide you in case it gets stuck. We want, yes, we want this. Let me just send this. Okay, I've sent you the link. Just click on that. There it is. There it is. Yeah, it's that one. It is that one. Fantastic. There you go. But then it's opening. What are these unconnected files? I don't know how you're ending up here.
It's this one. Like I've tried when I reopen it, it's just saying unconnected.
Just close those two unconnected. So click on that unconnected. Just go up, click on one unconnected. Oh, click on server. Yeah, okay. So I see what is happening. So just go back to file. No, we've already closed both files. Just reopen it. You reopen the SQL script. Open SQL script. And then find it. So do not open it. You see, when you find it here, don't double click here. That is why it's saying that.
Okay.
Just find the part where it's because it's zipped. Unzip it first. So from here, just go back or move it somewhere else. You can drag it to documents. Just drag it to documents. What you're doing when you click is it's opening, which we still can sort, but it's fine. Just drag it to documents, this file. Or copy. And just copy it here or move it to documents. There we go. Fantastic. Just confirm it's there in documents. You can sort by the date modified. There it is. Fantastic. Don't double click on it. No, we want to open it from, when you open it like this, it's opening another session of MySQL Workbench. So it's fine. Minimize this. Just minimize this. We go back to MySQL Workbench. cancel this unconnected file here first. Let's just close that unconnected. Yeah. All right. So now we open this. Go to OpenSQL script. There you go. Should be good now. That it is.
Oh.
So now Control A. Select everything and then click name so that we can run it all. Actually, it's the first one, not the second one. We're executing the selected, not the one under.
Oh, like from here.
Everything. This has been commented out. It doesn't have. That's why I'm saying Control A. And then the first lightning symbol, not the one with the eye.
This one?
Yes, that one.
Oh.
Okay, so looking good so far. I lost your screen, but the last I saw was lots of greens, meaning it's run well. So go back to your navigator, click on schemas, and then click on the refresh button.
Oh. Yeah, it's there.
You can see it, Ricardo. Yeah?
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. Wow. Hello.
I'm audible. All good? You guys can hear me well?
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic. Okay. You should be sorted now, Ricardo. I'm sure you can see the schemas, right? When you click on schemas, you should be able to see this. You can see because everything has run well, so you should be good. You should be able to see this classic model. So what you'll do, open another SQL file, or just so that you can, here you can just a new tab to work on. And then from here, just give it a shot, just say select asterisk from customers. So just to confirm that everything is okay, just do this and then run. Should be able to see the table right here, like you're seeing on mine right here. Select all from customers, just confirm that you can see this. Is that a thumbs up for you being able to see the customers table? I'm using just one screen, so unless you unmute, I cannot see the thumbs up on time. Feel free to just unmute. Let me know that you can see this. Okay, you have an output when you select all from customers. Ricardo, kindly confirm to me that everything is okay. All right, fantastic. So let's first acquaint ourselves with the data set that you are working with. So this is the schema for the database that we are working with. It has these following tables. We have a customers table, which is what we've just printed out there, a small bit of it. What we also have, and it's good to understand the data so that when we are doing when you're writing the SQL queries, then we understand what we're seeing, right? And we understand why we'll be doing. Case in point, if we want to do specific types of joins, we'll understand why we are joining with what table to fetch what information. So that's the whole idea. So we have a couple of tables. To be precise, how many are these? 3, 6, 8 tables. We have a table storing customers' data. We have another one storing, and by the way, it's a data set containing sales of classic vehicles. So classic vehicles. We have customers, a table storing customers. information, one storing products, so a list of all those cars. We have another one called product lines that is storing a list of all the product lines that exist, a table storing the orders, another table storing the details of the orders, another one storing the payments, another one with the employees, and then finally we have one storing the offices. And this is the schema here. And we can already see we have some relationships. By now we know what a schema is. We have our entities, we have our attributes, and of course we are missing the data types here, but not a problem. We have a line just representing the types of relationships that exist. Case in point, I'll be very quick at this. So we have employees here, and you can see employees, there's a relationship between employees and offices. So in the employees table, we have an office code. And the idea there is that for every employee, there is a code that references where they work or what office they work in. And in the office, you can see we are storing quite a few number of information regarding the office. But in the employees table, the office code is helping us connect an employee to whichever office they work from. We also have another relationship between employees and customers. So here we have, let's see, we have in the customers, let's see what has been used. We have a sales rep employee number here, and the employee number here is a primary key. So what is happening here is, and since it's in the customers table, I reckon we are keeping track of which employee served which customer. Customers also have a relationship to payments and orders. So this is very obvious. So here we are making sure that in the payments, we are keeping track of which customer made that specific payment. Here, of course, we're keeping track of which customer made a specific order. That's why customer number is a foreign key in the orders and payments table. In the orders, we have a relationship between orders and order details. In the order details, we have an order number, of course, referencing a specific order here alongside other bits of information. And then the order details also has a product code, which is referencing a product stored in this products table. So more details on this product, but here we just have a code to tell us the details of this order is, this is the order number, this is the code that is being bought, this is the quantity being bought, the price of each of those things, and the order line number. So those are the relationships that exist there. Any questions on that? So far, so good. Any questions on what is on these relationships on the tables? It's very we can relate to it, right? Typical sales scenario where you have offices, products, customers, employees, orders, and payments. Any questions on that, or shall we proceed? Just give me a thumbs up if you're good to go. Just give me a thumbs up if we are good to go. All right, fantastic. Great. So what we'll start with simple select statements of that data. We'll then proceed with and just increase the complexity as we proceed. So should be good, should be very interactive, and we'll keep referencing this schema to ensure that whatever we are writing actually makes sense to us. So first things first, start with queries to retrieve data. So data retrieval, and here we are talking about, very simply, how to fetch data. And fetching data, we'll use the select keyword that we already saw bits and pieces of from yesterday. So we'll start with selecting. So when you're selecting, in this case, back to my SQL workbench, let's say in this case we wanted to see a list of all the records in the customers table. We will say select asterisk from customers. This prints out a list, or here you'll see all the records of all the columns in the customers table. So here you can see from the customer number, and you can see all the columns are here. So coincidentally, I've just opened that table. You can see all the columns all the way from customer number to the credit limit. So we have, and let's look at what we have in this table. The customer number, this seems to be the unique identifier, the name of the customer, the last name and the first name, their phone number, their address 1 and 2, their city, their state, their postal code, country, sales rep number, and the credit limit. So select asterisk selects the entire table. And it's a very risky one, given that sometimes you have tables with millions of rows. That's why when you want to regulate your output, you can say select asterisk from customers, and then you use limit, let's say 5. So what this does is similar to our dot head and our dot tail. It will print out the first 5 rows. So when we limit 3, then, and I'm highlighting that entire block of code, and then running it, then you can see we have three rows like so. So limit just allows us to truncate our output, or just briefen our output to only return a couple of rows, because it's very rare that you have a scenario where you want to print out the entire table. And that also, it's tasking to the server, just pulling out everything. So this is how we limit the number of rows that we want to output, similar to our dot head in pandas, as we were well acquainted with. That's it. But what if you want to select specific columns? Then very much possible. What we do is, instead of saying select all, we now become specific. So we can say select customer number. So I'm selecting the first column, customer number. Let's say we want the customer number, comma, and the city from customers, and I will still limit maybe 5. So I'm selecting specific columns now. Customer number, which is right here, and then I am selecting after that I'm selecting the city of these customers as well. Okay, so selecting customer number and city from customers, and you can see we have customer number and city, and I'm limiting to just 5 rows as well. So I can come say maybe 3 as we did earlier, but now we are walking away from selecting the entire columns to being very specific about the columns that we want. On top of that, we can do something else. Let's say we do not want to represent the columns as originally named. We can alias. And aliasing is giving names to columns, tables, and we will see as we scale, as we learn more and more, as we scale up, of course, when we can use aliasing. In this case, we'll start with aliasing columns. What I mean is this customer number and city, we can give it a different name. And when that different name is what will appear as the column names in our table here. So we can say select customer number as, so the keyword there is as, let's just call it number, comma, and city as, what do we call it? State, let's just say state, might not be the case, from customers, limit, let's say we limit the first 3 rows like so. Highlight that entire block, run it. So we have number and state. So you can see that they are originally called customer number and city, but we've renamed the columns to number and state. So that is how we go about aliasing. So from selecting the entire table, to limiting the number of entries or rows, to selecting specific columns, and now to giving those columns aliases, or giving them simpler names or easier names, or names that we just want to see in our output. Any questions on those selection statements? Any question on that? I'll just take a few minutes to allow you guys to type that out. As always, I'll be sharing these SQL scripts at the end of the session as well. Any questions? Any questions? Ricardo, on your end, all good? Okay. Looking good. So let me just close this. So let's move on. So the next thing that we look at will be, excuse me. Now, after aliasing, we can start looking at specific keywords. And we can concat. So what I mean is we can start combining outputs from various columns. So how this looks like is, in our case, if we rerun this select all from customers again, let's limit our output to the first three because we just need to inspect. We might want to return the last name and the first name in one column. So how do we go about that? We'll use another keyword called concat. So still retrieving information. So we'll come say select contact last name. And let's say, by the way, let's start with the customer name. So let's select the customer name. Could be the number, could be anything. Select customer name. And then we say concat. Now these are what we want to combine together. And we are combining outputs from various columns, right? So here we can say concat. We want to join the last name and the first name. So concat contact last name, comma. And I'll just start that simple so that you can see how we can improve the output, and contact first name, like so. So those two, contact those two, and we'll alias them as, we can say, as full names, as full name, maybe as full name, full underscore name, or as contact names. Contact names makes more sense. From customers. Always we'll just limit to 3 columns, 3 rows, not 3 columns. Then I run that, and there we go. So we have, and let me just scroll down a bit, selected the customer name, which is here, and now we selected the last name and the first name, but we concated. So concat last name and the first name, and say that column we want to call it contact names, as you can see. So aliased it as contact names from customers, and we are limiting 3. Now notice that Smith, Karin, King Jean, and Ferguson Peter, there are no spaces, so we can format a bit. So while concating here, we can add a space by inserting a space like so. So within those curly braces, we just hit 1 space bar. So do the curly brackets and then just hit space. That should be good. So now when we run this, now they are very readable. So we can see the customer name and you can see the contact names. So I'll just take a minute, leave that there so that we can type it out or implement it on our ends as well. But that is concating. Just giving you guys a minute to type that out as well. Feel free to let me know once everything is all right. Or if you're running into a challenge also, do let me know. Okay, let me just confirm that we are all good. Okay, I can see a thumbs up from Ricardo. Samora, all good on your end? Any challenge? And I'm hoping that we are typing this out as we go along, right? That's the whole idea. Okay, so let's take it up a notch. Let's start filtering using what we call logic filtering and some concepts within row selection, or just being more specific with what we want as our output. Great. So the first thing that we look at is we'll introduce ourselves to a clause called the where clause that will allow us to filter based on logic. And we'll use this alongside other keywords. And the idea here with the where clause is it performs a row by row. So looks at every row. So row by row evaluation based on what we say. And then it will only return records that evaluate to true. Case in point, we can say where a particular amount is greater than something like that. So what we'll do is, let's start with selecting all from the, I believe the orders should have an integer column. So let's just see. Let me just limit these outputs to first 5 rows, like so. Great. So notice here in the, well, not much to go here. So let's try order details. I feel like order details might have more. Let's see. Order details. There we go. Order details. Let's see. Let me run that. Fantastic. So we have an ordered quantity here. So let's say we want to return details of orders where the order quantity was greater than 30. What do we go about? How do we go about it? That is where we introduce the where clause. So we want to return records in the order details where the quantity ordered is greater than 30. How do we go about it? We will come select, so same select concepts that we've been using. And remember, we are the ones dictating what we want to see in our output. So if we want to see all the columns, we just say select all. So asterisk from order details, so no longer from customers, we are in order details. And then we introduce the where clause. So where, what is our column that we are filtering on? Where the quantity ordered is greater than 30. So we are using that greater sign symbol, like so. And we can limit to 5 so that you can see. So let's run that. And notice that within these 5 rows that we have, all of them have the quantity ordered value being greater than 30. So that's the where clause. And we've just used one condition, which is where the quantity ordered is greater than 30. I'll just take a minute, just take a breather, just to ensure that we have that implemented on our ends. So the greater than here is an example of what we call an operator. So we look at a couple of these operators. Of course, we have the greater than, less than. This we already know, right? Greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. So these ones, no need to spend so much time here, but we will start diving into more. When I say these ones will just be performing, an evaluation based on the values, but we can extend beyond numerical and float values to other types of comparisons. Case in point, we look at the between and how it works. We look at the in, so between and in, very important. And then we'll go and look into wildcards, pattern matching, using like and the percentage sign. So we look at how that looks like. Shall we proceed? So far, so good. Any queries? Ricardo on your end? All good? Fantastic. On to the between. So let's say, and we'll start with between. Between allows us to return records that we will evaluate that column to be within a given range. So not just greater than, but they can be between. So what we can do is this same query of ours, we can come and say, we are no longer interested in just greater than 30 in the quantity, but between 20 and 30. So we'll come and say select all from order details where the quantity ordered and the keyword now becomes is between. So it's a keyword between 10 or between 20, followed by another keyword which is and 30. So between 20 and 30. So we are saying fetch details for orders where the ordered quantity, so quantity ordered here, is between 20 and 30. And of course, let us just limit our output to 5 rows, let's highlight that. Let me run it. And there we go. Notice that none of these quantities displayed will be outside of this range. So that is a between. We're using between followed by in conjunction with the and. So where, between, and and. All those are going hand in hand. But that is still based on one condition, which is quantity ordered. So we are setting ranges and we're using and of course meaning both conditions are met. And we'll get to see how we can start implementing or as well, where either conditions will suffice and will return records that will have just that. Okay. So let's take a small break from this. Let's look at in. So in. And what in does, in is again a keyword that will match a value against a discrete list. So here we are now moving into our varchar, our variable character columns, and saying that we want to filter based on that. And a good candidate here would be, let's see. I believe there was somewhere we had a city. Where was it? Let's look at offices. Offices had a city column. That will be a good match. So let's start with inspecting that. So select all from offices. Let me just run that, the entirety of it. I want to see a couple of options there. Great. So we have cities here, right? We have a couple of them. So let's say we want to return offices that the city is in a few options. This is how we can go about it. We can come and say select. And again, we want to return all columns from the offices table where, so still the where is there, where the city, and then the keyword is in. So where city in, and then in curly braces like so, we pass in as a list all the cities we want to be evaluated as true. So if we are saying what cities do we want? Let's say we want to return offices that are in Boston. We will pass in what we want to be part of that evaluation, and of course to evaluate to true the options that we want to be part of the output. So Boston is there. Let's say Paris and Sydney. So Paris or Paris, and then Sydney as well. So we are passing them in here, just how we define a list in Python. But now we are not using the square brackets, rather we are using those curly braces. And let's limit our output to just 5 rows. So select all the columns from the offices table. The condition is where the city is in these options that we provide right here, and limit to just the first 5 rows of the output. And when we run that, look at that, we have Boston, Paris, and Sydney. And as a matter of fact, I think we only just have an office in each of those. And we can just try to get rid of these limits and see. And run that. Yep. So we have returned offices in Boston, Paris, and Sydney. So that is in. So the between, we were working with numerical float columns. In, we are now jumping into the realm of discrete or categorical columns. Any questions on the in? Any questions on the in? Samora, all good on your end? You can see Ricardo. I'm hoping Ricardo's thumbs up is not from the earlier question. All right. And now we can do a multi-condition set. So far we've been just using one column to set the conditions, one column at a time. That is, let's look at multi-conditions using a multiple columns. And a good candidate here is, if you remember, let's just run this, select all from employees. You will remember that we had a credit limit in the employees table. Let's just say, not employees, but customers rather. Okay, that looks good. Great. We have, let's scroll, Fantastic. This will do us very well. So we have a city here and we have a credit limit. So let's say we want to create a multi-condition like so. We want just to select all the details, all the columns from the customers table, but we are only interested in a few things, in two conditions. So first and foremost, where the country is USA. Let's start with this. Let's first see. So where country is USA, let's start with that. Fantastic. We have 19 customers here, where the country is a USA, and we have varying credit limits. So how about we limit to the credit limit being above what? Above 100,000, above 200,000. So how can we go about it? We will. That is our first condition, where country is USA. That is one. And then to add a second condition is we just use the keyword and the credit limit. So the second column of interest to us, credit limit, is greater than 100,000, like so. So now two conditions based on two columns. Country has to be USA and credit limit has to be 100,000. Now if we run, then we'll only return records that meet both of these conditions. Remember, we have 19 in the USA alone. If we run it, we expect that number to be interesting. Right, seems everyone, you can see here, country USA through and through. And then the credit limit, we are not seeing one less than 100,000. Let's change this to 200,000. See whether our result, we have less records in our output. Should be the case. So let's run that. Yep. So this 21 here is not helping us at all. So that doesn't seem to capture the correct number of rows. But in this case, you can see we only have one customer who's in the USA and the credit limit is above 200,000. So if we bring it down to maybe 150, we expect more. Run that. Oh, just the one. Okay. 110, maybe. I feel like I had seen a few above. Fantastic. So we have a couple. So let's see. We have 114, 900, 138, so on and so forth. So that's the and. What if we are only concerned with either? So both these conditions need to be met. But if it's just one that needs to be met, then we can switch this and for or. So just switch this for or. And now the condition is either they are from the USA or their credit limit is, and let's just bring this number up slightly higher, is above 200,000. So one, we will definitely have customers from the USA whose credit limit will be even lower than 200,000. Also, we will have customers whose credit limit is greater than 200,000 but reside outside of the USA. So or is just either of these conditions has to be met, not both, but either of them. And we can run this. And let's scroll to the right so that you can see our output. And yeah, we can see we have someone here from Spain. Just because their credit limit is above 200,000, they are definitely part of the output. And let's keep scrolling. So that's a good candidate. Also, look at this. We have people in the USA with credit limits less than 200,000. So either of these conditions has been met, they will be part of the output. Any questions on and or, and also the combination of two conditions or multi-condition? Any questions on that? Okay, fantastic, fantastic, great. And then we can also now, still in addition to having our filters, like in this case here, we can order our output. So we can start ordering our output like so. So, and by the way, before we even order it, allow us to, I realized we did not look at the like and the percentage. So that's a very important one. So Between and in, let's look at wildcards with a percentage like and I like. So we have like and I like, and usually go hand in hand with the percentage symbol. So let's take a look at what this does. Now, when we use the percentage sign, it allows us first, the like here is for, and I like for pattern matching. And we use the percentage sign to match characters. And the position of the percentage sign will be very, very important. Case in point, we can start here with saying this, select the customer name. So I'll just take my time here. Yes, let's use the customer name. Select the customer name column from the table customers, and where, so still where is there, where the customer name, let's say I'm interested in names that start with A. I will come and say where customer name, like, very important. So like what? Now what pattern do I want? I'll put my, wow, that's a proper brain freeze. My double quotes. And then in here, now I define my pattern. When I say a percentage sign, what I'm saying is the names can start with A, and then whatever follows does not concern me. The only pattern I want to match is they have to start with the letter A, where like A percentage. So A, and then anything can follow. So when I select this and run it, notice that the customer names that are in the output, just take a look at the output, all of them start with A. All of them start with A. So I'm saying where customer name like A percentage sign. So customers whose names start with letter A. Now we can extend it beyond just one letter. We can say, we can use it maybe two letters if we want. Say maybe have A followed by U. So AU, start with AU, like so. Run it. So you can see Australian, auto, Australian. We can have entire words. So auto seems to be there, or Australian. Let's use Australian. So customer name starting with Australian. You can see we have Australian collectors, Australian gift network, and Australian collectibles, like so. So start with that string. So we are matching these Australian string, right? So specific set of strings that we have right there. We can switch the position of the percentage sign to end with. So this is starts with, and we can have ends with a particular pattern. And allow me to just be slightly quick with this. I'll share this after the call. The idea is we understand the concept. So here, I'll just get this line of code, this query of ours here. And what I'll swap is just the position of this percentage sign. So I'll just have it at the beginning. What this means is I'm focused with what comes last. So let's say how many of our customers end with the letter N, for instance. Let's see. End with the letter N. None. What about end with the letter A? It's probably a good time to just print out the customers again. So that we can see the names and try and match those patterns. T. Okay, we have E. Let's try E. So how many end with letter E? Okay. And there you go. We have graphic, Belgium, exchange, warehouse, so on and so forth. All these end with letter E. And we can be more specific. Let's say the entire word exchange. So ends with exchange, like so. Run that. And you can see we are left with those two. So the position of this percentage sign says when it's at the end of whatever characters we have here, we are saying starts with everything before that percentage sign. When it comes before the characters, we are saying this is what the name ends with. So in this case, the customer name will end with this set of characters right there. And you can take it up a notch, just match with words that are just within. So if we do not care about starting or ending, we just care about contains. So somewhere there, it has a particular name somewhere there in there. Just case in point, let's see. Yeah, I'm seeing wheels, maybe, or wheels, let's see. And we have this ampersand, this and coming through a couple of types. So let's say we want to return all customer names that have that and somewhere within the name. Again, I'll just get these lines of code here. And we're like, and this is what we do now. Given we just care about it containing, we will have percentage symbol and percentage symbol. So what we are saying is these, whatever is between our two percentage signs, just has to be somewhere there within the name. We do not care about whether it's at the start or at the end, just somewhere there. And if we run this, look at that. We have Havel and boards and toys core. We have Amica models and core, auto associates and C. So you can see it doesn't matter what they're starting with or what they're ending with. What matters is there's the and between the customer names there. So that is how we use the like in conjunction with that percentage symbol to help us match those patterns. Okay, and then the final one, before we call it a night, is we want any characters between. So matches any characters between a set of characters. What I'm saying is we can say something like this. What we are concerned about is you start with C. We don't care what you have after C, but we also end with R. So you start with C, end with R, and you can have any combination of characters in between. That does not matter. What matters is you start with C and you end with R. So when we run this, let's just see what output we get. Nothing. Oh, and again, let's inspect the names. So let's try starts with A, ends with E. So let's see. Starts with A, ends with E. Right, so we have Atelier graphic. So it starts with A, ends with E. So we do not want to whatever happens between the A and E that we're not really concerned about. What we want met is that start with an A and then end with an E. That it is. Any questions? Any questions on that? Ricardo, Samora, any questions on the percentage symbol? Okay. Looking good. So I can see time is not very much on our side, but there is a small add-on. So before tomorrow, let's look at how do we use the percentage sign in combination with underscores to specify exact number of characters. That's number one. But alongside that, I want us to look at data aggregations. So tomorrow, before you guys will take me through what you'll have found with regards to the aggregate functions within a SQL. So the sums, the means, the counts, the max, all this good stuff. So averages, and ideally have some SQL queries that are referencing this classic model. So as you take us through that, and of course, you'll realize that that will have to go hand in hand with a group by. But doesn't have to, by the way, but if possible, if you can throw a group by in, all good. And that is what we will start with tomorrow. Look at the exact number of characters using the percentage sign and the underscore. And then let's look at data aggregations. That's fine. And feel free to combine this with, while you have your queries, combine them with where clauses where necessary. So do a summation and then limit your output to where the sum is greater than something or the mean is greater than something. So feel free to include those. That's fine. Any questions? Any questions? Ricardo, on your end, is that clear? Fantastic. So before you leave the call, allow me to share this on chat so that we can have this as a reference point. So I'll call this, our class is 26G. 6G, day 2, SQL. Okay, let me just share this on chat so that we have a nice reference point moving forward. Okay, do let me know once you've downloaded it so that we can call it a night and I can end the meeting. Ricardo, on your end, all good?
Can't.
All right, I'm hoping that's all. Let's meet tomorrow. Should be good, same time, 8, so that you can kick on with more SQL queries. Have a good night.